Over the course of the last couple months, AHS has seen a dramatic increase in parking-related issues. In the last 2 weeks alone, more than 50 tickets have been issued to students. As a result, some students have even resorted to parking alongside the street, which comes with the potential risk of city fines. This week, we asked students and staff about the functionality of our current parking system.
So with the old school, there really wasn't much staff parking, so it wasn't as much of an issue with kids parking and staff. Whereas now with our much bigger parking for staff, and there's a lot more open spots, students just see it as an opportunity. It's an open spot, what's the big deal? So I feel like there's more students parking and staff now that there's a lot more opportunity to, whereas before there was hardly any extra staff parking.
I don't think the current parking system is functional. There's just a lot of students trying to park in faulty areas. I know it's like the landscape of the parking, like where the parking spots are at, can be difficult, but I think there's better solutions.
I'd say it is kind of difficult just because it takes so long and there aren't enough parking spots for the amount of students that can drive at our school.
I know it's been kind of a struggle for seniors to get a spot that they want, and I know that if you're not able to get a spot, most people will probably just park on like the sidewalks to the houses and stuff.
The student parking is pretty far away, but I just need to get here earlier, I guess. But sometimes it's kind of annoying because at like the bottom of the student parking, it's like 6 minutes to walk all the way to my first class. So that can be a little bit annoying sometimes.
I don't think people should be showing up like 30 to 40 minutes before school to find a parking spot just so that they can feel like comfortable like backing in and out.
I've worked here for 15 years, and when our parking was different, we still had students parking and staff parking. Like, it's always going to be a thing, and we're always going to have to say, you know, this is not your parking spot. This is that's just life.
I don't normally park in staff just because I don't want to have to pay a ticket. I think that's kind of silly.
Yeah, I personally never have parked in the actual staff parking lot, but I know of people that have, but they oftentimes get tickets. So
Yeah, I parked there quite a bit. I've only gotten one ticket though, luckily.
If you park in staff 4 times, that's like $60, $65. So that's not a very good way to spend your money, in my opinion. But I think some people just don't care anymore.
Well, the amount of money in fines for probably the last month is about $800.
Yeah, I think the parking fines are pretty effective in stopping people from like parking in staff. Because I mean, no one wants like a bunch of racked up tickets that they're gonna have to pay, and maybe possibly hold them from walking on graduation night.
At graduation, like right before graduation, all students have to pay their fines and fees, and if parking fines are on their fee, then they won't get their diploma, so they'll have to pay their parking tickets.
Many students have voiced their frustrations with both the layout of the student parking lot as well as the lack of parking spaces. In a recent survey, we asked students to give their suggestions for possible parking solutions. The general consensus was that expanding student parking in the staff would improve our current parking system substantially.
I don't really know if there's a way to make more spots, but if there was a possibility to have more spots available to students, I feel like that would help a lot, just so that it's not as stressful trying to get a spot at school too.
There's a lot of open spots in staff parking that no one really takes. So if we could figure out a way where there's enough parking spots for the staff and comfortable for the students as well, that'd be great.
As a result of student discourse, AHS administration has a partial solution. This solution will allow 15 student parking spots in the current visitor lot. The parking spots will be given to students every couple of weeks in order to recognize academic improvements and achievements.